You know you make me wanna shout. Oh, girl, look for something softer now. Hey, hey, hey. Hello everybody, my name is Vaughn. I am a video journalist with NYT Cooking, and today I'm gonna be doing something a little bit crazy. I'm going to make myself a wedding cake. Look at me, I'm wearing white on my wedding day. This is kind of a video diary of me. This is how I operate a one-person show in my kitchen. Hopefully, we can inspire you all, give you all some ideas, be creative. Man, I really should have practiced this one, CC. I feel like a dad giving a speech. I'm going to effectively make myself a wedding cake. If I'm in the mood for cake, I'm not going to just make a cupcake. For some reason, I decided I wanted not just a cake, I wanted 4 different flavors of cake. I don't just want to eat cake, I want to decorate a cake. This is quite literally the most Leo thing that's ever happened, is a Leo making himself a wedding cake. I first off sat down and I sketched out my kind of idea for tiers, offset a little bit with some ruffles and some sugar flowers, and you know, if I'm not totally zonked by the end of the day, we might try some sugar work, but don't know if that's gonna be the vibe today. We'll see. So the cake recipe that I'm making today is a lovely, lovely cake that is directly from the page of one Yewande Komolafe, my beautiful coworker, and I'm having it. You know, I'm not gonna eat this whole cake today, but the beauty of cooking for one is that you can snack on leftovers for a couple weeks and nobody's there to judge you but yourself. Especially in the creaming stage of the butter and the sugar, you really want it to go for at least 4 to 5 minutes because you're incorporating air into the butter, which is gonna give the cake more structure. Oh my, that looks great. You can see how the consistency has changed quite a bit. It is now very light, very fluffy. Now it's time to add egg whites. Calls for 3 egg whites, and it's hard to do half an egg white, but I actually have been recipe testing. I keep all my egg whites in a big pint container, and then I just kind of weighed out an egg white and a half, which is 45 grams of egg whites. So, yeah, you know, y'all don't care about that. And while I add the egg and incorporate it, I'm gonna mix my dry ingredients together. Yewande's cake is vanilla. I'm making this almond because almond is my favorite flavor of cake and it's my wedding. I'm adding this all at once. Give it a couple pulses to get it going. And that just goes right till it comes together. Oh my, that looks good. It's very thick and delicious cake batter, very creamy. Famously, the best kitchen tool there is. This cake I'm baking in a 1/4 sheet tray, but I'm actually going to use little circle cutters and cut out each of my tiers from this cake. Now it's time to make some frosting, which Cece is here, and honestly, thank God. It's hard to do this with one hand. Oh no. Cece and I decided that frosting is the most integral part to a cake, right? Good frosting can save bad cake, but bad frosting will ruin good cake. I'm going to make arguably what is the best frosting there is, Italian meringue buttercream. Per the internet, 1 egg white is about 30 grams. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go for about 60 grams of egg whites. I'm gonna put the rest of these in the fridge. Actually, I'm gonna use one more. One more egg white. I'm not driving. Yum. It's pretty springy on top. It's kind of coming away from the sides, which is exactly what we were looking for. All right, so we're gonna boil some sugar. So I'm going to take this sugar to what's called the softball stage. And then when the sugar dissolves, I'm gonna stop because we don't want the sugar to crystallize after it dissolves. I can kind of go like this for more even heating. And you see right around the edges here, you've got sugar that's built up. So I'm gonna take a little bit of water and a pastry brush, and I'm just going to wash that down. Okay, so we're at, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and start whipping. This happened very quickly. I don't want the sugar to get more than about 240 degrees. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. It's about 225 right now. We're at 232. It's getting so close. Okay. Oh my God, I'm sweating. I'm gonna keep the mixer going just until a lot of the heat has escaped this meringue mixture, because we don't want it to be so hot that it just completely melts all of the butter. And another thing that I actually like to do, you rub an ice cube along the outside and it cools it down. Oh yes, that meringue looks lovely. Now that this meringue has effectively cooled down a little bit, I'm gonna start to add butter. And yes, I've got 2 full sticks of butter here. Add the butter little by little. I'm gonna make sure that after each addition of butter, I don't see anything remaining before I add the next addition. When you add the butter into the warm meringue, it can become a soupy mess, and then you'll start crying. That's pretty much what happened to me the first time that I made this frosting. I was like, Mom, this frosting is so bad, I suck at cooking. And then she was like, just be patient, honey. I've seen this on the Food Network. Like, if they keep whipping it, it comes together, and it's magical. Okay, so you saw that it looked kind of like a curdled mess before. Look how smooth and glossy this frosting is right now. It's beautiful. Tiny bit of almond. I'm going to scrape a vanilla bean in there because that's fun. Back into the jar for safekeeping. And then I'm just gonna mix this up really quickly. Oh, yum. Frosting done. Now let's work on the best part, which is the fillings and the decorations, shall we? Last night, like I said, I was lying in bed and I was like, I want a lot of different flavors of cake. I'm gonna add fillings, like very easy fillings. I had some leftover puff pastry. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of break it up into little shards. And these crispy bits, I'm gonna coat in chocolate, and that's what's called feuilletine. It's like rain on your wedding day. Pinch of salt. I'm going to spread it out just a little bit so that it cools. Word for it, okay. I'm going to make some caramel. I'm just gonna add a little bit of sugar down at the bottom of the skillet. My nut of choice today, obviously, the almond. And then once this hardens, I'm just gonna chop it up into bits and then put it in between the layers of frosting. That's gonna be my toasted almond layer. One layer is gonna be chocolate feuilletine, and then another layer is gonna be apricot jam, which I'm just gonna mix up with some fresh apricots, and then lemon curd. Next is honestly the part that I've been the most scared about, because it's the part that I'm the least competent in. And as a Leo, I don't like to be vulnerable, especially on camera, but I'm about to make some sugar flowers. Hello. Wow. I would be lying to you all and to myself if I said that I didn't want to make this cake just for the fact that I got to play with gum paste. So I have some gloves because I'm gonna color some of the gum paste and I don't want to stain my hands. It's my first time putting on a glove. So orange is my favorite color and peonies are my favorite flowers. So I'm gonna make an orange peony. Oh yeah. That's really orange. I added way too much. I wanted like an elegant, chic orange. This is giving me like orange sherbet. I want it, you know what? No, it's gonna look great. It's gonna look great. So I'm gonna take off a little bit. I have a ball that I'm gonna form the petals around. So I'm gonna take a piece, I'm gonna flatten it. I'm gonna take my world's cutest rolling pin and I'm going to roll it out, do a couple small petals. And I have all these like fun tools, but I think that the most important tool is this one where you kind of roll it around here And you like start to give it more of like a petal shape. And the first couple don't need to be so totally amazing because they're gonna be the inside of the flower. I'm gonna gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger with the petals. So I'm gonna zone out and do this for quite some time. And my plan, I drew like 4. That ain't happening. I'm gonna maybe do 2. Flowers are perfectly imperfect. So I saw on the internet that with a rose, you wanna do like a conical shape. Fun, yes, this is looking like something. At first I was gonna not use the petal cutters, and then I was like, don't be a hero, Vaughn. I'm gonna switch back to the peony because these are starting to dry more. We've got a peony. The rose is looking pretty good. It's time to fill and stack this cake. I'm gonna take this cutting board, I'm gonna flip it over. I probably should have loosened it up from the sides first, just to give it, oh yeah, she's gonna come out this time. I'm coming out. I've got these circle cutters, which are maybe impractical, but I have them, so I'm gonna use them. Don't sleep on your cake scraps. You can save these cake scraps, you can freeze them, you can listen to Celine Dion's All By Myself and just cry. Now I'm gonna do something that's called filling and stacking. So I'm gonna take a little bit of frosting and dab it on there. So I've got the frosting there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my offset, and because I want everything to be even, I'm gonna just kind of look here, like the cake wasn't totally even, so. And then I'm going to take my nozzle, and I'm gonna actually pipe a little border along the outside. It almost looks like a kiddie pool, which is very fun. So I've got some leftover lemon curd that I made, and I'm just gonna spoon it in there. I'm gonna do what's called the crumb coat. And that basically is just gonna seal everything in. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't need to be a lot of frosting. I really just wanna get like a thin layer of frosting to lock in those crumbs, to lock in the moisture. So I'm gonna dowel this just because I feel like that's what people who make cakes do. I'm gonna put it in the freezer while I work on the other tier. So now I'm gonna do the same thing that I did the last time, and then I'm gonna add my feuilletine. I put it in the refrigerator to let it really harden up. So I'm gonna actually work this down so that it creates more of an even base for the next layer to go on. What's my next layer? Ah! Apricot. Oh my god, this is the smallest, silliest little cake I've ever seen. It's so silly. Une fleur de sel. I have all my cake layers filled. I've got to stack them. I want to give this small one a chance to firm up a little bit more in the freezer. It's time to do some more arts and crafts. So right now, they're a little flat. I'm happy with how they turned out. They're a little flat. So I'm gonna take this stuff called luster dust, which is 100% my drag name. It's sparkly and very fun, and it's gonna give these flowers some dimension. And we love to sparkle in this kitchen. Come around the edges of some of the petals, and I could be here all day. I would never be satisfied, but I'm gonna have to stop sooner or later. Okay, I'm into that. Then I'm gonna do the same thing to the rose. Maybe a little gold, a little silver. Ooh, I like this silver one. Wow, this rose, celebrates Pride Month. She is glittery. Rose done, peony done. And Cece, do I dare pull sugar? Okay, I'm gonna try it. The worst that can happen is that I sustain 3rd-degree burns and go to the hospital, right?
Hold on, wait, what?
What? So in my sketch, I have some like whimsy. Sometimes I get an idea and I just really have to execute it, you know what I mean? So this is the same mixture that I did for the frosting, which was sugar and a little bit of water. And I'm bringing that up to like a hard crack stage. Take it in my hands. Please don't try this at home. Even though I'm literally not an expert and trying this at home. You take it and you pull it and you twist it. It's like not unbearable. I'm not like really hurting myself, but it's just like, it's hot. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got like something. We've got some whimsy. It's time to decorate this cake. Oh wow, this cold pan on my hands feels so good right now. I'm one of those people that's like, oh yeah, my hands are impervious to heat, but quite literally no. Stack her. I think I'm gonna do 2 naked, 2 ruffles. I'm going to get probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever bought with the company's money. This cake stand! How cute is that? Ah, it fits perfectly. Oh my god. That's really fun. I'm kind of just gonna go around and like really finish this cake. Dum dum da dum, dum dum da dum. Wow, this has been so fun. I am extremely gratified. This is the praline layer. Wow, that's so good. BRB, eating this whole thing. All of these flavors work so well with almond and vanilla. It's honestly one of the funnest things I've ever done in the kitchen. Never doing it again. If I wanted like something sweet, I would probably either buy a slice of cake or like make a full cake. But this was way more fun. And I think that that's honestly what cooking for one is all about. Getting into the kitchen and trying new things and getting inspired and getting back to what makes you happy. And this made me like immensely happy. I think I did an okay job.